Good morning, it's my weigh-in video for Saturday the 1st of August 2020. I've been on my laptop doing a few bits and bobs this morning, and while I was on there I went back into my file for my weigh-ins from this time last year, because I was interested to see. I'd looked a couple of weeks ago and noticed there was a bit of a difference, but I was interested to see how my weight today compared with the same week last year. And I'm actually £5 lighter than I was at this time last year. That's surprising. I imagined I was somewhere around the same place, but £5 lighter. So I'm really pleased with that. And the other thing I did while I was messing around in my computer was to ask my smart speaker, how many weeks is it till Christmas? Now, I know we don't like the C word, a lot of us, but something that's been playing on my mind, right? So it's 21 weeks to Christmas. Now that doesn't sound like very long to me when I consider that I have been doing this style of eating free food to lose weight for 10 weeks now. And that has blown by, or flown by. And I'm now thinking, gosh, only double that short period of time and it'll be the week before Christmas. Now, I know that once Slimming World vloggers get into full flight, we start debating, am I going to be on plan for Christmas, am I going to be off plan for Christmas, am I going to take 2 days off, 2 weeks off, or just blow it for 2 months basically. And we all take different routes, don't we? We all make different choices. But I think what I want to say today is, if we're struggling with our weight because we've just come through lockdown, and for the first 8 weeks of lockdown I was going up. And then 10 weeks ago I started to come back down. If I hadn't come back down, shall we say, and lost 18 pounds in those 10 weeks, if I was still carrying that at 10 stone 4.5, taking that forward towards Christmas, knowing that at or around Christmas a lot of us do gain weight, what could I have been in January? And I think my word of encouragement for today is, if you have got a few pounds you want to get off because of lockdown or whatever, do it now, because if you leave it another 10 weeks, and then we're only 10 weeks before Christmas, and then you leave it another 4 weeks and another 4 weeks, before you know it, Christmas is going to be on us. We're still going to be carrying that weight and then risking adding another half stone over Christmas. And it could, you know, if we don't stay on this, it could knock some of us right backwards 1 or 2 stone or more. So basically, I think what I'm trying to say is, it's really important to keep your eye on the bigger picture, as well as looking from week to week for those losses or maintains, to keep your eye on the bigger picture. So for me, it was good to go back a whole year and look where I was at this time last year. And I think for anybody who's got that record in their book, if you've got the courage, go back and have a look where you were at the start of August last year. Because sometimes that might be the encouragement you need, because it might not be as bad as you think it is. If you're looking at your book now thinking, oh gosh, during lockdown I've gained half a stone, but then like me, you go back and you see that this time last year you were £5 heavier, that gain can kind of be partially wiped out sometimes by the intervening actions, if you see what I mean. And it might be just the boost and the encouragement that makes you say, well look, hey, I might have gained half a stone during lockdown, but I'm only actually £2 heavier than I was this time last year. That might just be the incentive you need and the motivation you need, rather than, you know, keep looking under the furniture for your mojo and wondering where you left it. That might be just the incentive you need to get going again. It's certainly given me a massive boost this morning, even though I'm okay with the weight I am today. It's given me a massive boost to see I'm actually £5 less than I was this time last year. So that's a bit of encouragement for somebody out there. The other thing is, after I did the video last weekend, I got a text from my consultant to say that again, I was joint slimmer of the week. And I think that's 5 times now since I got myself back on plan that I've actually been slimmer of the week or joint slimmer of the week, and I was slimmer of the month for June. So again, no certificates or anything, and that doesn't bother me because they're only bits of paper when you're blind. But motivation to say, do you know what? Lost £2 last week, got joint slimmer of the week, with a lovely young lady who's been around for about probably a year or so. That's bloody good going after, 5+ years on this plan and being at a healthy weight. That's bloody good going for somebody in my position. So yeah, I'm a bit proud of myself this week, if that's not too egotistical. And the other thing I wanted to speak about in this section of the video is going back to group. I noticed that a few people are talking about this because they have plans to go back to group. I noticed that a few of my friends are talking about the fact that they're disappointed because the Zoom meetings are going to end. And whilst they've been working from home and they've got kids, it's been a godsend to have a Zoom meeting that you didn't have to worry about getting, somebody to watch kids or whatever, or actually going out the house and mixing with other people. Because I think there's still a lot of fear about that. I noticed this in the news, like this last couple of days, we've got all the new lockdown stuff around Manchester and East Lancs and West Yorkshire and everything. This is going to keep happening in parts of the country, and I was thinking when I heard it, my first reaction was, what will happen to the groups in that area? Because they can't just spark up groups everywhere when you've got cities like we've had Leicester under lockdown near to us. I don't think, personally, I'm ready to go back to group yet. I know that, Slimming World have plans in place to make it work, but those plans kind of included, from what I've heard from other members, not necessarily from my consultant, so only it's hearsay, but weighing with your shoes on. Don't want to do that, thank you very much. It's bad enough having to change back to weighing with most of your clothes on. So weighing with your shoes on, no toilets, which I think is, can you imagine, how many women come in, they've been driven quite a way to get to group, they need a wee before they get on scales to lose a bit of weight. Can't do that. No drinks, well I can manage that, because if I needed a drink I could take my own. But as a blind person, I'm considering, I get to the venue, then I need somebody to guide me to the scales, to the pay desk. You're going to have to pay by card. I think there'll be no cash. I usually use cash at things like that. Don't take my card. And I'm not even sure that every group has a card machine. Perhaps they do today, they didn't always used to. So you do that, you do your pay, you get your 45 boxes of hi-fi bars, whatever, or none in my case because I've moved on from that. And you go and you get weighed with your shoes on, and everybody's going to be, oh my God, my weight is up. And I know that's only 1 week, and then the next week you just carry on from there. And then eventually you'll get a week when you can take your shoes off and it'll come down again. And but then, are you going to be able to sit next to somebody, or the chair's going to have to be 1 metre plus apart? And for me, as a blind person, I would find that weird and isolating. I really would, because I could well be talking to an empty chair thinking somebody's sitting on it. I just don't like the whole idea for myself of going back to group yet. I'm not ready. I'm really not ready to go and sit in a room full of people. So my plan for group is I'll go back. Oh, excuse me, it's a bit early in the morning. I'll go back.
Sorry.
Hay fever. I'll go back when the groups are back to normal. Whenever that is, I'm going to continue working this plan. And I'll work it from home, and if my consultant can find a way of me carrying on, letting her have my weights every week and paying my dues and demands, I'm happy to do that. But I'm not going back to group until they're back to normal, because I'm not desperate enough to put myself under that kind of stress, because it would stress me. And I know what a weak-minded woman I am. Put me under a bit of stress like that, you're giving me an excuse to eat over going to group. And I might well come out of that group on a Saturday morning thinking, didn't enjoy that one bit, what can I eat? I know myself so well now. I know the things I have to put in place to stop myself falling back into the old food habits. And for today, that's what it's going to be. When group is back to normal, I'll return, and I'll be glad and happy to return. The other bit of news is, I've heard now from several other members, that the scanner's coming very soon, the barcode scanner. I think Joe is going to be well chuffed by that. He's been waiting for that for the last 5 years, hasn't you? Mm-hmm. He thinks it's a long time coming, and I think, yeah, it brings us into the 21st century. I don't care whether it puts us on a level playing field with Weight Watchers, because that's never going to be something I need, even though, Weight Watchers were way ahead with it, but then they're a big American company, aren't they? Much more up to date, probably. If you look at head office in Alfreton, I know Slimming World is a sizable company, but it's still a bit like a family business. Whereas, you know, Weight Watchers sold donkeys years ago for 70 odd million or something. I think it's a much bigger concern. Was it Heinz bought it and then they sold it again? And I think it's a different kettle of fish. Slimming World is, I think, much more local family. I've been to a Weight Watchers meeting in San Francisco and it was great fun, but it was very different from Slimming World. Anyway, those are the bits I had on my mind when I got up this morning. You'll see I have my bag on my shoulder. This dictates, no, donates, no. What's the word I'm looking for? Denotes. Got the right letters in the wrong order. This denotes a loss. And I want to talk about something I've done since I went onto this new way of eating. I'm not being secretive and making you wait for my weight loss. I just want to explain it in order because I made a decision when I started to eat just like 99% of my food from the free food section on the plan. So we'll call it plant-based, plan-based, free food, speed food. So when I went onto that way of eating, I made a decision to buy myself some new bathroom scales because the only ones we had in the house were Joe's and they didn't speak, so I couldn't weigh myself and felt a bit like a child. Can you weigh me? Can you weigh me? I like to be independent, so I bought a really good set of talking scales and I made a decision to get weighed daily, which is something I haven't done for more than 10 years because I used to have such a problem with the scale. I threw away my scales, my talking scales, on the day I joined Slimming World, and I had got myself down to only getting weighed probably every 2 or 3 days, and I wasn't as obsessive, but I have had times when I've got weighed probably up to 7 times a day, and I won't ever go back there, but I'm older and wiser now. So I ordered a set of talking scales and I get on every morning at around the same time, which is usually about 6:30, wearing the same little cotton gown wrap thing, and I've actually found it really interesting because it's built the strength. Please excuse me, I haven't eaten this morning, it's very early. Weighing daily has built the strength in me that I didn't know I had. Which is a good thing because now I get on the scales once. I don't compare 2 or 3 weights, even though these scales are dead accurate. And you get on more than once, sometimes they give you the same weight, don't they, Joe? They're not like 3 ways, 3 weights. So I get on once, I take that reading. And if it goes up, which it inevitably will, once, twice, 3 times in a week, I don't worry about it. Because I know I'm working the plan, and if I'm working the plan, the end result at some point is going to be the right result for me. So every morning I get on the scales and I get weighed, and I decided this week that what I would do was record my weigh-in every morning. So there's a visual picture, but you'll also hear it because the scales speak the weight. So from Sunday, which was the day after my last video, through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have recorded my weigh-ins. And Joe will put those clips into the video, but I'll tell you when he'll put them in because then you'll know where to put them. So how do I feel about that? I feel bloody good because I haven't once got on those scales this week, and whether it's gone up, down or stayed the same, I haven't once got off and it's affected my mood because it's just what it is. It's just the truth about what I weigh today. Now, for anybody who can't cope with the up and down, up and down, up and down, the one thing I would suggest if you're really into numbers like I am is you could write down those 7 weights over the week. Add them together and divide them by 7, and that will give you your average weight this week. You know, if you can't cope with the ups and downs, but you're still going to have to live through the ups and downs to get to that stage. But I think what I'd like to say is, like, we need to get over ourselves because a gain is not like fat on. I've seen, I don't know how many gains this week or whatever, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's not important. My end result today is what matters to me. But actually getting on those scales, knowing you've got a gain, doesn't make me a better person or a worse person, doesn't make me a failure. Doesn't make me a superstar. It's just what it is. It's just what those scales say I weigh at this moment in time. Now, Joe always says to me, you know, every day you have different activities, you walk different distances, you drink different amounts of fluid, you eat different amounts of food, you may have been to the toilet for whatever, you may not have been. You can't expect your body to, it's not a performing dog or something, it's not going to react the way you want it to every day. And I know for me, it's been an interesting thing this week because I thought I would come out of it feeling browned off because I saw the scales go up on different days, and I haven't. What I've actually done is come out of it with a loss, which I'll show you when, when Joe comes back to this portion of the video. So at this point, Joe, can you put the clips in from the weigh-ins? Yeah? So if I do that, you can fast forward until you see me do that, and then put the 6 clips in.
I've taken a mental note of the time.
You've taken a mental note of the time, that's great. This is Sunday the 26th of July 2020.
Hello. Your weight is 9 stone, 0.4 pound.
Ooh, that's good. Okay, that's it for today. It's Monday the 27th of July. It's today's weigh-in.
Hello.
Oops.
Your weight is 9 stone, 0.8 pound.
That's a slight increase on yesterday, but it's what I expect, weighing daily. Okay, that's it for today. It's the weigh-in for Tuesday the 28th of July.
Hello. Your weight is 9 stone, 0.8 pound.
That's the same as yesterday, so we'll see where we go tomorrow. Thank you. It's Wednesday, 29th of July. Let's see what I weighed this morning.
Hello. Your weight is 9 stone, 0.4 pound.
That's dropped a little from yesterday. Okay, that's the weigh-in for today. Back tomorrow. This is the daily weigh-in for Thursday, the 30th of July 2020. Here we go.
Hello. Your weight is 9 stone, 0.2 pound.
That's a slight drop from yesterday. Okay, try again tomorrow. This is my actual weekly weigh-in for Slimming World. So it's Friday the 31st of July, and these are the numbers I will be texting to Naomi.
Hello.
Oops, try not to fall off.
Your weight is 9 stone, 0.4 pound.
Up on yesterday. So my actual loss for this week is £0.5, because 9 stone 0.4 pounds we'll read as 9 stone 0.5, and last week I was 9 stone 1, so £0.5 off. That's great. Right, I'm back. You'll have seen the clips of how my weigh-ins went this week. You'll have seen the little downs, the little ups, the little downs, the little ups, and I actually finished on an up, didn't I? Because I weighed more this morning, which is the weigh-in for Friday, than I weighed on Thursday. But you know what? It didn't matter, because between last Friday's weigh-in for Naomi and this Friday's weigh-in for Naomi, I lost £0.5, which you've already seen. And that's what matters. It's the bigger picture again.
It's toothpaste, by the way.
Sorry?
It's toothpaste in the boxes. You can't really tell what it is.
Sorry, if you can't tell from there, it's 2 tubes of toothpaste. I've shown these before as to represent a £0.5 loss, because that's what they weigh. But again, like I started by saying, look back on what you weighed this time last year to get a measure of where you've come in a year. Look back on what you weighed this time last week or last month. Keep looking at the bigger picture. Don't just focus on the fact that if you were me, you could be saying, I am well fed up. I'm 0.2 of a pound up on what I weighed yesterday. That's finishing the week on a negative, isn't it? And it's not the bigger picture, which is I'm finishing the week weighing 9 stone 0.04, which is actually 0.6 of a pound down on where I was last week. Now I count that as half a pound. I don't count weight I haven't lost, so if I'm 0.4, I count that as 0.5, if that makes any sense to you at all. And it's a good place to be, because I'm actually finishing the week on a positive, even though I've gained since yesterday. So keep your eye on the bigger picture. Anyway, I feel like I'm waffling. It's early and we need to go out. So we're off. We're off for a good walk, and then we've got jobs to do. And happy birthday, Richard. My husband is 65 today. God, I never realised I'd been married to such an old fella. Right, everybody have a good week and stay safe. We'll be back on Wednesday, and thank you for staying with us. Cheers.